Okay, well, welcome back to the 5th episode in the current series of the Aurovine Podcast. This is where we get to promote some of our fine aspiring bands and artists on Aurovine. Every 2 to 3 weeks, roughly, we will host a new podcast on the Aurovine homepage. You can click on at any time and listen through. And we'll feature 2 different artists of around 20 to 25 minute sessions. So, today's session, we're going to be finding out how to relax to the tunes from New Delhi's finest sons with the lovely ambient sounds of Burudu. But first, I'll introduce you to the enigmatic Ken Foster here. We're going to talk about The Involvement.
Yeah, The Involvement are a band from Long Island, and I was blown away when I heard this stuff, completely blown away because it's such good quality and it's got enough about it. There's obviously a lot of stuff in there, a lot of influences in there, and they cite hundreds of influences on their page. But I think there's enough uniqueness to it, and I know we go on about this a lot, but the quality of the songwriting, the production, just the arrangements and the way it's been recorded, it makes me wonder now, you know, the availability of the technology and you know, home studio gear. I'm not sure where this one's been recorded, but it just sounds like it's been done in a very professional studio. It's been mixed really well. The quality of the songs are great, and I just think well, we're going to play 3 tracks from this band. There's a couple of really high energy tracks on here, and then another one that we're going to play called Back in 28 Days, which I think shows the versatility of these 2 guys. So yeah, should we start with the first track, Dave, and then talk a bit more?
Well, we've got 3 to play, so let's go with the first track and then we can talk on from there.
Okay, so let's go with this first one. This one is called And the Long Shots Lose.
Just can't stay. I know the past is been roaming around this hub for days, so no one ever can. I think everyone's the same. Night is written, we've been giving up on because you can't drink this on and on till your time's up, time is gone. We went on.
there you go. That's a great track by Analog, by the guys. Analog Shots Lose, released on the 13th of March this year. And again, that's an EP ago, so these guys are quite prolific also. These two, I'm just reading a bit of a background on these guys through Facebook and all that kind of stuff that we always look through to try and get as much info as we possibly can. And I just like the whole feel to it. I mean, there's a real natural, honest feel to these guys, you know. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I do like the idea of, you know, I've never been to New York, but you know, you get that sort of, you watch a lot of films, you get that, you know, they always portray that picture of there's a fantastical element to it where, you know, there's a sort of a romantic sort of happening, something big, you know, starts small and unknown and makes it into something. And this is a classic example of that. These two guys are living in Long Island. Things aren't going well for them. They say that, you know, it's made up of two failed musicians. These are their own words, and they're just basically sick of where they are. And I just love the idea that these two guys are sat in a garage. No one knows who they are. No one knows where they are, where they come from, and they're making great music like this. And it just says, you know, it's just like a really kind of fairy tale type deal. Yeah,
the first bands, that sort of influential sort of bands that I sort of kind of tried to guess when I heard the music was bands like Smashing Pumpkins, My Bloody Valentine, Ride, and those kind of bands. Even maybe Dinosaur Jr. and that kind of. There's even, I think you mentioned one or two other bands, but and on the profile they've got stuff like Foo Fighters, Radiohead, the Beatles. It's all in there, isn't it?
Everyone. I mean, that list is endless. They listen to a lot of music, and it's almost like, okay, do you have to listen to that much music to make that good music? I don't know, but because there's so many good bands in there that I know, and there's probably a lot of bands in there that are just as good, but I don't know, never heard of them in some cases. So it's you know, it really is quite a broad range. I mean, it goes from like you say, Rage Against the Machine and Green Day, Foo Fighters, Beastie Boys, to Frank Sinatra, Miles Davis, Donna Summer, Michael Jackson. You know, they're basically saying we listen to all kinds of music, and this is the result. This is the result. This is how we feel about it. I mean, I did mention a couple of other bands myself. I mean, but this is the thing. If you listen to, I think we mentioned this when we listened to different kinds of tracks. You'd listen to some, and I'd listen to some that you hadn't heard. And one, for example, we're not playing it this evening, but I Broke Love. I listened to that, quite a high energy track, but it kind of, the influences that came out of me in that particular song was very much, I felt it was like a Lost Prophets type feel to it, but there's an element of Busted, and I don't mean that in a sort of derogatory fashion, because Busted were very, very good in what they did, and the point I'm making is the Lost Prophets are quite a heavy band. If you're not into your heavy rock, it's probably not a band for you, but the Busted element, I think, provides the commercial. So it's got the real good technical point of what they do, but they've got some commercial.
Yeah, there's kind of feels. It's a little bit like The Fall in the UK. You know, those kind of bands. They don't really crawl a band on Aurovine. That kind of vibe where, you know, we're just going to do our stuff and you know, we don't care what happens. No,
and they stick to that kind of process in how it works. So therefore, whether it was 5 years ago or tomorrow, it's still the same way that they do things. It still produces the same great music. And you know, I've heard other sort of big names who write, big songwriters in the world, who say, you know, we never go out to write. Depeche Mode, for example, they never go out to write a single. They just write music, and it becomes an album, and the single will pick itself after it's finished. And I think that's what these guys have done, because the first track that I heard will be one that like we're playing at the end, called "Call Me Over," and it's a great track, but it's obviously quite a leading track, single probably. But then, and this is the key part for me, because we do a lot of this. We listen to a lot of different music by different bands. Sometimes you listen to the first track, and then the rest of the tracks really let it down because it's just not quite up there with it. But I kept jumping from one track to the next track and thinking, this is great. And then there was the next EP. I thought, well, this is sort of further back, but this is great also, but with a slightly different feel. How these guys aren't signed already, I don't know.
No, it would be great to get them signed up to our boutique Aurovine label that we're launching with our worldwide distribution this month. But anyway, that's
a different story,
another discussion. Yeah, so let's hear another track. I believe they've just got 2 EPs out at the moment, Dave, is that right?
The 2 EPs that they've mentioned to us are Welcome to the Ren World and Mexican Tacos. Now, Mexican Tacos was the one, for the first track we heard, and Long Shots Lose, that was on Mexican Tacos. Now, that was released in March, and the latest one is Welcome to the Ren World, and which is released in this month. Released days ago.
Yeah, a few days ago. So we'll play like you say, we'll play Call Me Over from that one later on. But I wanted to get this one in from Mexican Tacos, which is a track I really like and shows kind of the versatility of the band.
Absolutely. We mentioned Lost Prophets earlier, but this has got more of a Smashing Pumpkins feel to it, hasn't it?
Yeah. There you go, that's short and sweet, and it's the involvement with Back in 28 Days. I really like that track, and as you can see, it's totally different from the first one we played, and is different again from the one we're going to play in a few moments.
Absolutely, yeah. I really like how they've certainly the first 2 tracks we've heard are on the same EP, and they've got a really different feel to them. That's a sign of good quality musicianship and good songwriting. But the next track we're going to hear will be from the new EP, and it's Call Me Over, and it's different. Now, I'd be really quite interested to hear, those of you who are listening right now, if you've got some feedback to let us know what you think of these guys, because we are seriously looking at...
This is a stellar track as well. It's really strong, and I can see why, well, whether it is a single or not, that's what, you know.
But good feedback.
It's got a single all over it, hasn't it?
It has, really. And so I'll be interested to hear what everyone's comments are. This is called Call Me Over.
Okay, that's. I really enjoyed that section of the show, Dave. Three really powerful tracks there, and such good quality.
A great band for the future, and hopefully we'll be doing some more work with them. We'll have to see. Watch this space.
Okay, so we're moving to New Delhi now, Dave, with a band called Burudu.
We are indeed, and we are going from literally one extreme to the other. We've gone from pop punk to ambient electronic. Yeah,
it's something that I wouldn't say I'm not familiar with it, because let's talk about the music. The first person I thought of when I heard The World at War was Olafur Arnalds, who has got this kind of beautiful, tragic sound to him, and it's not easy to get that kind of sound. Joy Division, I suppose, had it in a different way, in a more rocky way, in the late 70s and 80s. But yeah, it's one of those. It's the kind of music that can move you.
It is, absolutely. I think again, it's probably not my strongest genre either, but this is something that's becoming more and more prevalent. It's very lounge music kind of dance, which is very, very popular with the younger generations of today. You go to a lot of clubs, it's not about 190 beats per minute anymore. It is more about having a chill, ambient feel to it, and this is exactly that. And given the sort of Asian, the Indian background, if you will, it's got a bit of the element of its own culture involved as well with that. But for me, like I say, not overly familiar with the genre, but for me, what stood out was there's a Moby aspect to it. It's sort of like a chilled out Moby feel to it, and I think that's probably where, these guys do have a massive cinematic atmosphere to a lot of their tracks.
The Orb as well, the Orb kind of stuff.
That kind of feel to it, and these guys, if they could really play on that sort of the culture of their sort of background and how they can then build it into a modern day sound, I really think they've got something going here. Really, really do. And the best thing to do is probably play the track, because that's the best way to explain it, I think.
Yeah, this is the first one we're going to play from Burudu, and this one's called Georgina. So that's Georgina by Burudu. They cite their influences as being from deep house and chill out music, combined with the space and ambience of more post-rock and ambient sounds, and that certainly comes across with that one.
I feel also it has that, like I say, the classy cinematic feel to it as well. So there's lots of avenues and ways that this music could be used. But the thing that strikes me about this, and if you remember, we spoke to Sahil a good few months ago when he was more of on an individual basis with a Rescape.
Yeah.
And this is the two guys now with Burudu. It's what came across to me then, and what comes across in the music very, very strongly is very, very intelligently written. There's been some thought behind it. They've thought about what piece goes where, and it isn't overly cooked, for want of a better expression. When there's too much going on, it's just right. It seems to me they've got a destiny in mind. They've got a point they want to get to, and they get there without faffing around. It's very, very well done and put together. I do like this, and I think these guys have got a future.
Yeah, and there's this next track that we're going to play called The World at War. They are actually signed to a couple of, I think they've had 2 or 3 releases now, all on different record labels, so there's definitely stuff going on for them, because they've all been released, in July last month, so it's very new to the scene. And anyway, this one, The World at War, this kind of reminds me more of the Orb, because it starts off with a reverse sample, and it builds into kind of a bit of a groove, but the feeling you get from this one is quite emotional as well.
It is, yeah. That comment that was made there, in fact, so touching this track, it prompted a SoundCloud response of, "I didn't know war could be so beautiful." I think that's a quality comment. So let's have a listen to this one. This is World at War by Burudu.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man, yet as mortal as his own. We know now that as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize the transient creatures swarm and multiply in a drop of water. With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time. daylight cut off by the black smoke of the rest of the world. All that happened before the arrival of these monstrous creatures in the world now seems part of another life. Life that has no continuity with the present. Furtive existence, the lonely derelict who pencils these words on the back of some astronomical note bearing signatures. My wife, my colleagues, my students, books, observatory, my world, where are they? Strange to watch children playing in the streets. Strange to see young people strolling on the green where the new spring grass heals the last black scars of its roosters. Strange to watch the sightseers enter the museum where the dissembled parts of a Martian machine are kept on public view. Strange when I recall the time when I first saw it. Bright, clean-cut, hard, and silent under the dawn of that last great day.